let's talk for a minute about your overseas missions. You know, after World War II ended, the next conflict was the Korean conflict. How had things changed on your missions, if you noticed any, when you were overseas during that time period?
It was it it really didn't change. When I went over Korea, I went with the First Marine Air Wing,
Okay.
and I was stationed there in, I don't know, I about forgot that. It's been so long, but we were mixed together.
Hmm.
But when promotion time came, that's when it was changed, because it was going the other way.
Even though you were integrated,
Yes.
when it came to promotions, you were still
Promotion.
sort of segregated, and you can
It
see that.
was,
You can see that
absolutely.
things really had
Absolutely.
changed.
It was segregated. We were in a hut. 12 sergeants was in the hut, and 10 was promoted, and 2 wasn't. And those 10 were white guys,
Hmm.
and the 2 was myself and another guy. They passed us up, and I couldn't do anything. I wanted to say something, but he says, "Man, let's don't worry about it. We'll be gone in a couple of more months." It'll be about 6 months from there, and just let it go. But I wanted to talk to him about it. I let it go. I didn't say anything. It was supposed to, when I got back to the state, we would surely get it, that promotion. That never happened. Got back to the state, and gee, I walked around there with a comparative score of over 200. And I should have been promoted when I was over in Korea, but they didn't do it. So, and when I got back to the States, still didn't do it. I finally got promoted after I had went up and said, every time I got a promotion, I had to go up and talk to the executive officer. Because this time I had to talk to the commanding officer, which was a major.
How long have you been in at that point?
That was in 54. I had been in about 6 years. I
Right.
believe.
Okay.
6 years, let's see. About 10 years almost, because I was in, that was 50. Oh, that was, I got my times mixed up. That was, I had been in 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had passed my test for it and didn't get it.
That was your first promotion that you were up for in that time frame.
Yeah. I was held over there a couple of months. You know, after 13 months, you're supposed to come back. They extended me 2 months because they said my relief didn't come. Everybody else's relief came, but mine.
Okay.
And they all came on the same ship or flight or whatever. I didn't understand it, but I just wanted to get out of there then. I'd have stayed another 2 more months just to get out. I wanted out of Korea. I didn't want to be put up in it, and got back to the States and same thing.
Right.
And I was running in the same thing. That didn't really go clear until about 67. And then they was going to give me a promotion. I didn't take it because I was getting out. I had put in a letter to get out, and I had, excuse me, I had went and talked to the doctor that I was seeing, and then they didn't want to let me out. I guess they wanted to whip me up pretty good, I guess. So the doctor went to the commanding general of the 2nd Division, and the 2nd Division said, the 2nd Division general, he sent the doctor a letter said I had orders for Westpac, and I would proceed as ordered. What you gonna say? I checked out everything and went home, took me a little leave, and extra money. And on a Saturday, here come a captain and wanted to talk to Sergeant Wilson. I said, yeah. I said, what do you want with him? Oh, he says, I'll tell him. I can't tell you. I said, well, I'm Wilson. I wouldn't tell him I was Wilson until he, I wouldn't know what it was. Then he had orders for me to come back. The doctor had saw the commander of the hospital, which was he was a high-ranking field officer. The commander general had disregarded his orders, and he sent one to the Secretary of the Navy. And that's where my time came back. And they sent me back to the base. And sit around there, and my section head wanted to know, they wanted me down at Building 2, and my section head where I worked wanted me to want to know where I was. I said I was home. And he says, yeah, you in the uniform today? And he says, they wanted you at Building 2. I said, I've been to Building 2. He said, well, how did you find out? I said, I knew. You asked them down Building 2. I didn't like to give the officer no credit for nothing I said to try to lock me up or bust me, So he decided he was going to take me for office hours.
Right. So at that point, they weren't giving you the promotions that you wanted, but you were dealing with all these different things, and they wouldn't let you out of the Corps either. They wouldn't discharge you either.
Yeah.
So it was like a double-edged sword, so to speak.
Couldn't win for losing.
Couldn't win for lose, so to speak.
Right. So,
right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it finally worked out because I went to the captain that wanted to make an example out of me, going to take me for office hours, and I told him that I'd like to, I want to make appointment with the commanding general of the 2nd Division. And he said, what do you want to see him for? I said, Captain, I want to see the commanding general. That's something I want to tell him. He says, well, tell me. I said to the captain, this is my section head, I said, if you was interested in me getting out as you are in trying to, I put some pretty bad words on him. I disrespect him, and he says, you don't respect an officer when you see one. I said, where is he? I didn't have no respect for him because he wasn't showing me nothing.
Of course.
And you have to respect yourself, before you can respect somebody else. So and he says, okay. So I went out in the warehouse and the whole group out there, they got behind me and sit down. And I said, you guys better go to work. He said, we ain't going to work. They messing over you, Sergeant. We don't like it. And they didn't do nothing. And so he called me in and says, why don't you go home, and when they get ready for you, we'll call you, and we'll call you at home. Now, this is the guy that didn't want me to go home. This is the guy that wants to mess me up. But I said, okay. So I went home. He didn't have no office hours, and I didn't get to see. I told him I still want to talk to the general of the division. And I didn't see the general, but I didn't have to go. I went home and stayed, and they called me, and when they called me, I had discharge. All I had to do was go take a picture, get an ID card, go home.
And that was it.
That was it.